Hey everybody, it's Naya. Welcome back to Naya with Smiles. Hello everyone. Okay, please excuse the fuzzy hair today. I literally just got back from traveling all day yesterday. I got in late last night. My flight came in. Today's Monday, March 25th, and I wanted to make this little like forward clip before the rest of the vlog. I recently went to the North Texas Teen Book Festival. I mentioned it in my previous video, I think. It was like a 3-day event, but I only went 2 days, the film festival day and then the actual event day. I was invited to come and speak on the BookTube panel that they were having. I went back in 2016 and 2017 for their BookTube panels. They sadly didn't have a BookTube panel 2018, but this year around they had it again, and I was so excited to fly back down to Texas to see everyone I had met. Tasha from Tashopolis was there, Christine from Poland Banana Books, Ashley from Ashley Outpage, Hannah from A Clockwork Reader, and Whitney from Witty Novels. So hi guys, if you're watching this, I miss you, and I hopefully will be coming to BookCon. We'll see. They were all there, and it was so nice seeing them again, and it was just like, it was awesome. Friday night, I got to go to a screening of The Hate You Give and then do a talk back, which is kind of like an interview with Angie after the movie, and it was incredible because, as you guys know, The Hate You Give and On the Come Up are two of my favorite books of all time, and it was just so surreal to meet her and to speak with her. And the movie showing was really late at night. It was at like 9:30, and the talk back or the interview that you guys will see later in the video was literally at midnight. So I just wanted to say that and preface that if we look tired in the interview. Yeah, it was like midnight on a Friday, and we had been up all day traveling and that kind of stuff, so wanted to preface that. I also got to meet finally Tehere Mafi, who is, like, you guys know, this is the book that started everything for me. This is like 15-year-old Naya. This is why I am on YouTube now. This is her book of all times, and I finally got to meet Tehere, and she signed the book, but sadly I only have pictures and not any sort of video footage. Also, one more person I got to meet whose book is absolutely incredible. I only have 100 pages left. I was reading it on the plane ride there and the plane ride back, and I was literally like flipping out. I actually just found out that this will be adapted into a film, or the rights were picked up. The Opposite of Always by Justin Reynolds, and it is so good. I got to meet him at the after party of the event. I'll put a picture right here. He was super nice, like just absolutely amazing. Hi Justin, if you're watching. I don't know if he's watching this. The North Texas Teen Book Festival day was super hectic, so the vlog footage you're about to see is kind of really jumpy and all over the place. Dad came with me, and he did record the entire interview with Angie as well as the entire BookTube panel discussion, so I will timestamp that in the comment section. Like, I'll pin a comment so you guys can jump between the vlog and those two different discussion sections if you guys want to only watch one or the other. Anyways, I wanted to preface that real quick, and ooh, okay, let's just like, yeah, let's just ignore that. Anyways, without further ado, I think the first clip I have is me arriving at the hotel on Friday, and then we'll get into the Angie Thomas stuff and the BookTube stuff, and yeah. Texas! I'm in Texas! This is the coolest hotel I think I have ever been in my life. What? They got rainbow bathrobes? Hey guys! Okay, so it is the day, it is Friday. The film festival with Angie Thomas is tonight, and I'm going to be moderating or doing like a talk back with her. I'm so excited. It's currently only like noon, so I have a bit of time to like kill and explore. Oh my god! What? What? I'm just in awe at the hotel room right now, but yeah, I'm in Texas.
Naya reads and smiles, so let's give him a round of applause, and I'll hand it over to Naya.
Thank you, Angie, for answering some questions tonight. My first question I have is in regards to the film. I think we see a lot of adaptations, book adaptations now, which is exciting. And I think a lot of people are curious to know how involved the author is in the process. We saw a little cameo of you towards the end there, so do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yeah, my experience, I've been told it wasn't the norm because I was very involved. Like, you know, there are some times where authors, like I know one author, his name is Rick Riordan, and don't bring up the movies.
What movie?
I know what movie. He's talked about his experience, and it was totally different. They didn't include him. And if you watch the movie, you can tell. Anyway, but for me, I was extremely involved. The director, the screenwriters, they all kept me in the entire process. When they were working on the script, I went out to LA. I spent like an entire day with the director and the screenwriter discussing every single character, every single plot line. And then in pre-production, I was speaking with George just about every day with notes on the characters so he could give notes to the actors. And then when they started filming, I spent 6 weeks on set. Oh, wow. And so I was there for a lot of stuff, and like he would yell cut, and then he'd come over to me and he'd be like, so what you think of that, Angie? And I know he genuinely wanted to know, but I'm like, we're in the middle of filming. I can't say I don't like this. You know, there's nothing that really you can do. But one time I did trip him out, and I was like, I hated it, and he looked like I said his dog died. So, but that's how serious he was about getting it right and getting it to a point that I appreciated it. So, you know, I went in knowing that it was going to be a fraternal twin to the book, not identical, and I was okay with that. But this was like a parent trap situation, and this kid was being raised by a different set of parents. But I felt like I gave it to some great parents, so I think they did a great job with this fraternal twin.
Aww, that's amazing. My second question to follow up that, when you, I remember on Instagram when you saw the trailer for the first time, you did a live stream, and I think everyone was really emotional watching you watch the trailer for the first time. When you finally watched the movie for the first time, was there a specific scene or a moment or just any point in the movie where you're just like, oh my God, like that's mine? Or like it just really brought it to life?
Yeah, there was. For me, I think the scene would have to be just the one specifically that really hit me hard was the scene where the family was having dinner at the restaurant. And even though that was different from the book, it still got the emotion of a moment in the book. And I remember it hit me so hard. And just honestly, all the scenes with the Carter family, when they were just being a normal family and stuff, those were always the ones that hit me hard, because that family, you know, is such a core part of the book, and to see them come together so well on screen and to see the actors have such great chemistry with one another that they felt like an actual family, I was like, wow, I created that family. You know, not in the traditional sense, but it was like, oh wow. So those were the moments for me. And then to the moment where Star and Khalil are reunited at the party, that one was definitely one. So it was an emotional experience the first time.
What was it like meeting Amanda Stenberg for the first time, or the actress who plays Star? Was it like, oh my God, there you are?
No, it took us a while to meet because Amanda was cast as Star, I want to say it was late 2015. The book came out February 2017. And this was, like I said, this was before the book, this was before the cover, all of this. She was cast, like she was one of the first people to read the book outside of my family, my mom, and my agents, and my editor. And so she was cast so early on, but we'd never met. And it was like other people were passing messages along to us from each other. So I was actually, it's funny, I was getting ready to go on tour to Canada with Becky Albertalli and Julie Murphy, and I stopped in Atlanta for a day, and they were already starting pre-production. And I went to the pre-production office, which was very cool, and I saw all of the storyboards and all of this and the wardrobe for the characters, and they were like, Amanda's looking for you. I'm like, oh wow, really? You know? And so, but we missed each other by like a few minutes, so the producers took me out for dinner, and they surprised me by they didn't tell me she was coming. So she walks into the restaurant. It's her and Lamar and Russell, who played Maverick. So it's basically Star, Seven, and Maverick. Lisa, I guess, was busy. And I don't know where Sakani was. I hope he had a babysitter. I'm joking. But she walks in, and we look at each other, and we almost just burst into tears. Because for her, she says that so much of Star's story is her actual life story. And it meant so much to her to finally see a book that reflected that. So, like, immediately, she was my little sister. So she's still my little sister to this day. I love her to death.
I know each author has a different writing process, and I was really curious, when you were writing the book, did you have all the characters already in your head and planned out, or did some characters just appear as you wrote along, outside of Star, of course?
I'd say like all of the main characters I pretty much had.
It's like, yes, you did.
Okay, God. All right. all of the main characters I had. Some of the minor characters came and they were inspired by people along the way. So like, there's a character in the book called 40 Ounce, and he's a drunk. That's an actual person in my old neighborhood, and he thinks I owe him money now. Like he owns the image of a drunk. Really? I can find plenty of drunks. You're not the only one. Anyway, so some characters like that came along organically, but like the core characters, the family, all of them, I've had those characters like planned out for a while. So it was fun to find the right story for them, even though it was a hard story to write at times. But it felt like the right story for them. So yeah.
And my last question before we go to the audience for questions is, you just released the second book, On the Come Up, which the audiobook is amazing. It's incredible. The narrator actually like raps all of Bree's raps, which is incredible. And it's going to be adapted as well by the same team, I heard. Is there anything you could share that maybe you possibly know?
The thing I would share is I accidentally dressed like my character on my cover today and didn't realize it. Like I'm just like Bree basically on the cover of On the Come Up. Like I threw the pants on. I was gonna wear this shirt because I wore this shirt in the movie, and then I was like, oh, I'll just put my hat on because I feel like wearing a hat. And then someone pointed out to me, they were like, oh, you dressed like your cover. I did not do this intentionally. But On the Come Up, you know, I will say, you know, I've had people asking me because yesterday it was announced that, you know, Fox 2000, the studio behind it, because Mickey Mouse put his paws all on Fox, he shut down Fox 2000, the studio. And that's the studio that did The Hate U Give. So The Hate U Give is technically like one of Fox 2000's last films, which is sad because they're an incredible studio. They did Love, Simon as well, and they did Hidden Figures and all of these wonderful movies, as well as The Fault in Our Stars, and just a bunch of YA adaptations, and they've really done a great job. But I guess Mickey Mouse had a problem with that. I don't know. But I will say this, don't worry, the movie is going to be made regardless. That's just, you know, I can't go into all the details, but the movie's going to be made. I can say that on great authority, whether Mickey Mouse is involved or not. I'm really excited about it. George Tillman Jr. is directing it as well, but this time around, I get to be a producer, which I'm really excited about. So, no, I can't cast you in it. It's too early for that. But I'm really excited about it. We don't have anyone yet for Bree, but I'm really excited to see what young lady gets this role and how she brings this character to life. I'm ecstatic about it, and I hope that this movie will not only be an homage to young womanhood, but to women in hip-hop and to the power of making some noise. Because with The Hate U Give, it was about finding your voice, but On the Come Up is all about, once you found that voice, how do you make some noise, even when it makes other people uncomfortable. So I'm ready to shake some stuff up with this new one.
I'm Naya from Naya Reads and Smiles, and I started my channel in like 2015. Hello. Yeah, same as Christine though. I was like, the only people I had to talk to was my family, and they didn't read books, so they would kind of like nod along like, yeah, Percy Jackson, yep, totally. I totally know what you're talking about. And I'm like, he has powers, and they're just like, but then I stumbled across BookTube, and I was like, oh my god, there's a place where we can talk about books. Okay, let's try this. So yeah, that's how I got into it.
So I know everybody kind of wants to know, has questions about the technical side of YouTube, which there are tons of videos out there and everybody kind of does it differently. So I wanted to focus more on content creation and just also like how BookTube has evolved and how you handle also the burnout. So let's start with content. So like, do you normally like plan out your videos and you know what you're going to do, or are you kind of like a seat of your pants kind of person, like, oh, today I'm going to wake up and this is what I'm going to do? Like, how do you plan out what you're going to work on?
No, you're good.
Something?
No, you know.
You say you have a comment?
No, I was just gonna say I'm totally opposite of Natasha. No, I do a lot of mainly like reading vlogs lately. And yeah, those are like totally like in the moment sort of videos.
Vlogs are in the moment, yeah.
Yeah. I agree with Whitney, like nothing like makes me as excited as books. And so when I read a book, the first thing I want to do is talk about it with someone. And then when you have no one around you, it's like, okay, you turn on the camera and you're like, you guys, I read the Grisha trilogy. Oh my God, So it's that like just needing an outlet for me personally to kind of, again, like connect with other people. And the best thing is reading a comment from someone. I think when I read Six of Crows for the first time, I was like, how did I go so long without finding this book? And then someone in the comments was like, girl, same. So, it's that connection.
Quite a few of you have been late to the Grisha game, and I'm like,
so late. Oh my God.
Reason, Rowan, and Dorian. Out of those three, who would you kiss, who would you marry, who would you
Mary.
Reason, all the way. Marry Reason, kiss Rowan. You're gonna kill Dorian? I'm a sucker for like any fae. Like if you're a fae, it's like you're higher.
So you kill the human.
Yeah, I just kill the humans. It's just all fae.
How is your experience being a person of color on Booktube? And how does that shape the content you create and how you interact with your subscribers?
Yeah, okay, so when I first started BookTube, I wasn't as involved in the community in the sense that like I wasn't aware of like there not being like a huge amount of booktubers of color. And I think that's more so just me not being active on Twitter or just any sort of social media. So all I knew was just the most popular booktubers that were on there. And I think more so now, BookTube has started to really make an effort to like highlight booktubers of color because it's important and there needs to be more booktubers of color. And I'm sorry, was your question advice for starting? Starting, honestly, I would just say like be as excited as you want to be when you're talking about books. Don't be afraid, because like my biggest fear was like I get like, real excited about books. So again, I was afraid people would judge me for it and be like, it's just a fictional person. Like you don't need to get that excited. But I think that just being genuine and being completely open with your opinions, people really respect that and admire that. And then I also want to add real quick that your perspective is really important because we have a lot of popular books, and if only white people are reading the books, they're not gonna, and there might say be like a microaggression against a character, they may not notice it, And for me, especially now, like with reading The Hate U Give and On the Come Up, which is amazing, you guys have to all read it, but your opinion is very important. I think you should know that, and I think sometimes when you may not see your opinion expressed in other people's videos, like, hey, how come this person didn't notice this like blatantly obvious racist thing that someone said, or like a comment a character made on another person's hair or braids, or something like that. You have to know that even if you feel like you're the only one with that opinion, you still have to say it, and it's still very important, and that should be also, for me, as a motivating factor in my videos, because I know, okay, maybe everyone might not have noticed this, but I did, and I feel like it's important to say that.
But thank you so much for coming. Thank you for everybody that's your first year. I hope you guys come back next year because we will be here waiting for you. Thank you.